He then states to me that, he's getting pressure from the DA.
To fire you.
To fire me.
And he's the president of the ANC in the country.
We chose Phala Phala amongst the stuff that I... So Phala Phala
It's one of the amounts.
is one of others. I spoke about the torture.
Yes, the torture.
Yeah, I spoke about the bribery.
Yes.
Now remember, the bribery, when they pay these people, it's not in dollars, it's in rands.
But the money that was stolen was in dollars. So now you're out of the agents, like the agents mean state security. Then later you go back. How did that come about, that you end up going back and now in a senior as a DG?
You see, at around 2014, I think the elections was 2014. So just after the election. As I was observing what was happening with all of these dynamics, I wrote a document. And he said, no man, here's something wrong, and I think the powers that be need to know. And the least I can do is tell them. If they don't take it,
just make them aware, yes.
But I write this document to indicate that I can see regime change, and I point out
how it
the
came about.
indicators and what they're seeing. And that document states that in 2017 to 2029, there'll be a movement towards regime change, but that the regime change will be concluded
elsewhere
on in 2029. And I show actors involved in it and all of that. I then get this fellow that took me to JZ in 2011. I said, but just get me to the president. I think he needs to know this.
Know this report.
He can decide what he wants to do. I think JZ was struggling with poisoning already by that time. So I go and brief him. He then tells me, I've appointed Mahlobo in charge of Minister Mahlobo, State Security. And I think you must brief him, but I'll get him to call you. After a while, Mahlobo reaches out to me. I go and see Mahlobo. But I see him at a venue, somebody else's venue. I'm not going to go into.
Yes.
I see him at this venue. I do the presentation to him, finds it interesting, and say he will revert. Don't hear from Mahlobo. I think don't hear. Then in 2016, I get a call from this fellow again to say, President wants to see you. Will you go? So I said, no, I will do that. I go to him. Now just remember, I'm supposed to be a Zuma man. I can't find myself to.
But you don't have a direct line to him. Yeah.
So I go to see him. He then tells me, Comrade Arthur, I have a problem. I thought my legacy of what I do will be shown in the security sector. But my comrades are disappointing me. In actual fact, I don't understand them anymore. So I need you, I need people to fix the machinery. Would you be interested in going back to the farm? to run the show. Of course, I was surprised, but I told him, look, I'll have to think about it, but I'd be interested, but on condition.
And what were those conditions?
I didn't want political interference.
Okay.
You know, and when I'm saying political interference, to direct on what we work on. One, and two, telling me who to appoint.
Okay.
Because that is the quickest way
To infiltrate.
Yeah, you know. And he then told me that, look, I'll come back to you. And then they came back to me just before, I mean, at the beginning of September, they asked me to submit my forms for vetting, blah, blah, blah. 2016.
16, okay.
I report to the agency.
It's now as a DG.
As a DG.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was a daunting task. But not insurmountable, because at least I'd grown through the agency. So, and I think in my career, I've learned that bureaucracy is based on systems. So you must set systems, checks and balances and the like. Yeah, and that's what I embarked on immediately I got there, you know. And so my first observation when I get there is I realized that the agency structure is inconsistent with the governing legislation. And I ask people, but how is that? The legislation, I think it's 2013 promulgated. How do we find ourselves here? And I then compile a team in October, and I give them 4 months to go to every unit. Phenomenal team. There's capable people on that farm. They're just not used. Very capable people. They went to every operational unit. They did scenario planning, because I told them they must plan beyond the NDP, the National Development Planning. What's it? National Development Planning.
Yes.
So I told them, let's cast our outlook to 2035, so that as we fix the agency now, we must understand what the needs of the agency will be
in future, yes.
5, 10, 15 years down the line. So that's what they do, and they execute it, and we streamline the agency. But by now we have a more functional agency, I believe. I also make sure that we fix the optics at the farm, so that we look at the terrain and that is there. We also get people to remove shredded flags and ensure that they put a regime in place where you hoist and de-hoist flags.
Yes, yes.
We actually, before the intelligence, I reinstate intelligence services day that Lindiwe Sisulu
started. Yes.
It hadn't taken place for 10 years. So I reintroduced it. It hasn't taken place again from the time that 2017. And why is it important? Because it's about the pride and dignity of intelligence officers.
Yes, yes.
And the only time they can celebrate achievement for themselves. But it also allows competition
amongst them.
That's the point. You know, every human being wants to show that they add meaning to their lives. You know, so we reinstate that. We develop an emblem. We develop a flag signed off by Heritage Council. With our intelligence services, we launch these things. So we've got an emblem, all of these things. We also state that if a member of the agency passes on anyway, that flag must be half-mast, so that anybody coming to their offices,
They'll see.
they'll see and know. So they must have an interest in who was passed on,
Oh, yes.
you know. So it was symbolic things that we were putting in place. When they chased me off the farm, I'm just jumping forward. They pulled down everything. They made it as if that emblem never existed.
So let's go there. So you are there at the farm. You get told that you are being under investigation. You must move to correctional service for at least time to allow the investigation to take place.
Yeah, you know what, maybe it's, I must rewind.
Okay.
You know Jacques Pauw's book comes out
Yes.
in October
Yes.
2017.
Yes. Just before the Nasdaq conference.
And you can see all of these things, the state capture thing, and all of these things are organized in and around the same time.
Yes.
We active civil society, all of those things. But before Jacques Pauw's book comes out, I discover a problem with our Inspector General.
Yes. Who was the Inspector General at the time?
His surname was Dintwe.
Yes.
So Dintwe, Dr. Dintwe, was the Inspector General, and I mean, we had a cordial relationship. There were instances where my people didn't provide the documents on time, and he would raise it, and I would make sure that
it happened.
correct it. So we even put a specific mechanism in place. But one day, one of my chief directors come to me to say, we're sitting at a logistics officer, a clerk's office. I said, but what's he doing there?
Where at the farm?
At the agency's head office.
Sure.
He's sitting with a clerk in our office. I said, what's he doing? They said, no, he had an accident with his car, and they had to take the car, they must repair the car. The estimated damages on the car is 218, I think, 200 and odd thousand.
Yes.
I said, but what happened? Because as an agency, we provide protectors.
Yes.
So
who was driving that car?
That's
and the
point.
person was driving the car is supposed to...
They should report to say something had happened.
Yes.
I then asked the chief director, please bring me the report.
So I can
because he should have filled in the report. What happened, you know. And I want internal security to check with his protectors.
What happened?
What happened? When I get the statement, I get her to bring me a statement. She then tells me, you know, DG, this is not the first accident. There were two other incidents.
Before this one?
Before this one. I said, but why are you people not reporting? I mean, firstly, you must inform me, but also it's a courtesy that the IG will tell you so that you at least know if there's a risk to his life or something.
Yes.
I then see that in his statement, he says that there was an explosion in the tire.
Okay.
And that the tire exploded while he was driving.
He was himself.
Yeah, he was driving, and that he lost control.
Where was the protector?
That's the point. So now it raises, because now I must communicate to find out what's happened. But again, the explosion of it's a concern, it's a security concern.
Yes.
For
the tire
for the
to
DT,
explode.
you must be able to say. So I direct my people to go and get a forensic crash expert.
To look at the car.
To look at
to
the
see
car.
if there was a bomb planted.
That's the thing.
Yes.
To look at the car and do that. And I then want to find out about these other occasions. You know, and then when I find out, I find that on the other two occasions, the car was in unsavory areas. I'm just going to leave it there for now.
No, I know it's Shebin. Because I remember I wrote a story about that, that he was involved in an accident when he was driving from a Shebin. I remember I wrote a story like that.
You know a lot then.
Yeah.
So I then have this thing investigated, and I then say, look, while we get the forensic, I want a investigation report. We then confront him also to say, have you registered this accident at the police station? Because that's according to
The law.
The law. He hadn't.
And the previous ones?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So I then communicate and say, look, there's a problem here. I think he needs to respond. And I inform the minister to say, look, minister, we have a problem around the Inspector General. And I think it's something that you may need to deal with. But now this then coincides with the launch of Jacques Pauw's book.
And also my understanding that there were also suspicious trips to foreign countries where he was driving himself.
I won't
go there. Okay.
I won't go there. Maybe I must finish this thing. You see,
yeah.
We then, as we investigate, I then tell the IG that based on the investigation, I think he is no longer security competent.
Okay.
Because when you lie under oath, it's a problem. So I then say, look, we want to revet you.
So what did he lie about?
No, the accidents.
The accident, how they happened.
It happened.
So he denied that he was driving from a Shebin and
and then there was other things. So but I think I explained that in some of that in my statement to the Zondo Commission.
Okay.
So I report this thing to the chairperson of the JCI, Charles Nkakula at the time. I reported to the minister.
Who was the minister at the time?
It was Bongo.
Oh, yeah.
But
Thomas Bongo, yes.
Letsatsi Duba comes in February. And I reported to her also.
Okay.
But I go further because of other conduct of the IG. I then told the minister that, look, before I withdraw his security clearance, because he's no longer cooperating with the vetting officers, I think I request that we brief the president because it's a presidential appointment. And that meeting is arranged.
You brief the president?
To brief the president. Then president gets briefed. I give the dossier. I went along with the minister, the deputy minister, the DG and the president, Lubise. Stein Speed was in that meeting.
The advisor to the president, yeah?
Yeah, and the president. And in that meeting, the minister asked me to brief, and I told the president, as a caveat to say, I'm not supposed to do this because I'm a conflicted party. This is my version, and you need to hear the IG's version, but I take him through.
Yes.
And in concluding a brief, I tell him that, before he does anything, I think it's appropriate that he gets the IG's version to this.
Yes.
And we have a very cordial meeting. We agree, we leave. Soon after that. And I must tell you, the previous year, I opened a criminal case against Jacques Pauw.
Yes, for the
classified information that he used in the book.
Yes. So
it was a real report. It was Gibson's report. As flawed as it was their report that Jacques just put in the book. So I opened up a criminal case against him for access to classified information. And the Hawks investigated, they even got affidavit from me. But to this day,
you don't know what happened.
Just tells you what's happening in this country.
Okay.
Right? But what Jacques Pauw does, there was I don't know if you know the site, the Huffington Post.
Yes, yes.
They must close it down now.
Yes, it was been closed down, yes.
But it was just used up to Nazareth. Just after Nazareth, they closed it down. So it was designed for specific purposes. So in the Huffington Post, Jacques Faux boasts that he got 2 further reports. So this Fraser is going on. He's got 2 further reports that he got from the Inspector General of Intelligence. Now that is the Inspector General's own reports. He boasts that he's got it and he's citing it. My team that's investigating come to me and say, look here.
The same
Firstly,
Inspector
they
General
said
that you investigated.
Correct. Then, because we were intercepting Jacques' phone, because we wanted to see where are these characters that's feeding him with information. Now we find the Inspector General calling Jacques Faux.
Do you have a judge's permission to
Always.
interfere?
You know, the issue with intelligence, and it's most probably the thing that's purposefully misunderstood. We are so heavily regulated. At least in my time, we always comply. There's no need not to comply with the law. Because if you are a risk to national security, no judge is not going to give me a direction on you. I don't need to. All I need to motivate, and I must be honest, why you are a risk. No judge is going to. So I had never had to fabricate things, because I don't think we must use state resources for frivolous things. You know? So we were on Jacques Faux, the IG calling him to tell him that we have told them that he must investigate Jacques Faux. All right? Remember, and to be frank, the IG's responsibility, if classified information leaks from the agency, he should be holding us accountable. So we told him, you should, besides us investigating, you should
also
investigate
this thing. Yes, yeah.
So he tells Jacques, no, they told me I must investigate. I'll never investigate you, my brother. And he then tells him, but you know, can you fix a thing on the Huffington Postman? Because you've indicated there that I gave you the report on recording. I get that record. I go to the minister. Let's actually do that. I said, yeah, he's your Inspector General.
With the journalist.
With a target, because we declared to him
that we are being
he's a target of ours.
Yes.
He has access to everything. So we say, yes. Now, I'm not speculating. You can listen to it. I then tell her, Minister, I am now obligated to withdraw this man's clearance. I can no longer wait, because this is empirical evidence. I can't shift from that. But I want you to engage the President
and inform him.
So here's a USB, please give it to the President, let him listen to it. Here's your copy, listen to it. This is on a Friday.
I didn't know that one of the reasons of the revoking that secret clearance was this phone call. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Friday, yeah?
Yeah, so she takes it to the President. The Monday she sees me. She gives me the heads up. The President says it's fine to withdraw his security clearance.
So you can go ahead and do that?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I pull the trigger, post consent from the Minister.
And the President.
Stating that the President told her.
Yeah.
So I do that. Tintwe goes to court. He takes classified information, puts it in court papers. Another crime. I oppose this thing of his, because he cites the President, the Minister, and me. And it is that the President say created a constitutional crisis.
By revoking the IG
He says that created and then he says he was unable, and this is in court papers, to determine whose version to believe. Now I can tell you, up until around the beginning of 2018, the IG had never told me that he was investigating me. He'd never asked me a single question. And remember, if he's going to investigate me on the same matter that his predecessor did, he needs to produce new evidence.
Yes.
Because
that case, as far as I know, it was closed. Yeah?
That's the thing. So I'm now told
that you're under investigation by the IG.
Well, I get to know that publicly. I don't get told that by the minister. Well, the minister the minister did. The minister tells me that I'm trying to get the sequence right. The minister tells me that they need to transfer me. The president needs to transfer me somewhere.
While the investigation.
But it's a temporary transfer. While they investigate, the IG completes his investigation against me.
You. Yeah.
But that the person, my incumbent, the acting person, will actually
be the bridge between you.
No, review my findings.
Okay.
And then determine if they continue or not.
You get told that the IG, the one that you investigated, wrote a report and reported him to the president, and the minister is investigating you.
Yeah.
Without even informing you.
Yeah.
But correct. You had a courtesy of informing him to answer questions on the accident. Then what happens after that?
Look, it's remember I indicated that I withdrew his security clearance.
Yes.
He went to court.
Yes.
And in my submission to Zondo,
yes,
I indicate that the minister told me that in his urgent application that the president had spoken to the judge president of Gauteng High Court.
That will be Judge Danson
Mlambo.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
That he had spoken to the judge of the High Court, and they were going to manage this urgency, but that the president has now decided that he'll have to transfer me in the interim.
Okay.
Until these things are settled.
Okay.
And they offered me a different head of department post to act, and said, can't go there. I then agreed
to go to correctional
services.
Why correctional service?
No, maybe I must state, the first offer was to arts and culture.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, so I said, but my skill set.
This is intelligence.
It's security, intelligence and security, so you give me anything in security, I'm prepared. I can assist in this interim.
Okay.
For them, it was never interim. It was actually part of a plan.
Yes.
And I was then summarily released and transferred. And then given the undertaking that these investigations will conclude. And
then you go back to your position.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Being at corrections, I think I was there at corrections by the second or third week. I get summoned by the DG in the presidency.
Mr. William Lubisi.
Yeah.
Yes.
A person I highly respect.
Yes.
Because we worked well together. And he then engages me and then says that the president has asked that he gets me to resign from government because there's too much noise around me. And I was because I knew him, I think, I actually was emotional to say, but
So this is 2 weeks after you're told that you're just being moved while you are being investigated, after everything is done, you're coming back.
Yeah.
Now you're told you must resign.
Yeah, plus minus 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
So I tell him, but what's going on? And I state to him, I say, do you understand, DG, that if I resign because of this noise, Jacques Paul has indicated that I gave my mother 10 million rand.
Yes.
You know, it means that I'm throwing my mother under the bus. You know, and I told him that's not going to be, not possible.
Yes.
You know, so that's why I'm saying I was emotional around that thing. And then he said, and I then told him, I said, you know, DJ, the president has access to a report that vindicates me. So I don't understand why he's asking me to resign when he knows
The truth.
the truth.
Yes.
So what is going on? He then said, look, I don't know about this report. I don't have access to it. I think let me withdraw. I will speak to the president and advise him what you've said. So I leave. And I know it indicated that the president on that day was on his way to Mpumalanga.
Okay.
I mean, 10 minutes after I had left his office, 10, 15 minutes, he calls me back.
The DG.
A DJ. He says, the president has indicated that he'd like to see you tomorrow evening when he's back.
But from Mpumalanga.
From Mpumalanga, yeah. So he's indicated that if you can be at his house at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I said, no problem.
Okay.
But of course, as I go back to the office, I now realize that the 3 months is now
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Probably, yes, yes.
You know? So, and I mean, it's awkward because now you're working with staff, you're interacting with people, but you know
That they don't.
they don't know that you actually don't really know what is going to happen. I go home next Saturday. It's a Saturday. I go to the president's house. I'm there. As you would have realized today, I'm punctual about time. So
No, I know.
on time.
I know that, yeah.
So I get there at 7 o'clock. And as we're walking in, he greets me cordially. But before we're sitting, he says, you know, Commissioner, I want to start where the DJ ended yesterday. And I realized, you know, this president, at least you have the decency
to sit me
just
down
to sit
and take me through the whole.
So he says, no, you know, I'm under pressure. I need you to resign, and that's what I'm here to ask you. So I asked him. I firstly said, you know, I can't resign. I told him, no, I said, Mr. President, let me go back where I ended with the DG yesterday. I told the DG, you've got access to a report that vindicates me.
Yes.
So you and me know that this matter is not what it is.
Yes. It's just been twisted. Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand it's politics. At least we understand the truth. So I don't think I can deal with the noise. I'll continue, I can deal with the noise. He then states to me that, you know, he's getting pressure from the DA.
To fire you.
To fire me.
And he's the president of the ANC in the country.
You must know what he says after this.
Okay, I'm listening.
So he says he's under pressure from the DA. So I said, I understand, that's political noise, Mr. President. He says, no, but you are liability to the ANC, Commissioner. Hey?
Liability now?
Liability.
In what way?
It is the first time that, I mean, let alone a president of the ANC. It's the first time somebody says I'm a liability to government. He says, you're a liability to the ANC, you are a liability to government, you are a liability to me. And I look at this, my ANC president, and I say, oh. And I then say, so Mr. President, is this how deep factionalism has gone in the ANC? Because remember, I don't see myself as a factional. I'm there as a public servant, deployed by our movement at least. So I say, so this is how DP says yes.
So I admit that it was done based on factionalism, not on you being really a liability, so to speak.
Yeah, so I then tell him, but you know, Mr. President, he said, but you helped NDZ at Nazareth.
2017. Yes.
So I told him, Mr. President, do you think you'd be president if I helped
NDZ.
NDZ at Nazareth?
Yeah.
Because I don't think so.
And
And
what?
there was a pause, silence. Because then I realized that I'm dealing here with something completely
Different.
other. Not that I'm surprised, but I just realized we at that point. And I then told him, I now understand what I must do, Mr. President. And I placed my hand on my chest, you know. And I then told him that, look, Mr. President, I'm not going to give you an answer today. So he said, look, Commissioner, I want an answer. I'm now off to G20. When I get back, I want the answer from you.
Okay.
I said, no, fine. I would have consulted with my family. I'm fine.
Did they at least offer you coffee or tea?
I don't even think that time. There wasn't time for coffee and tea. This was a rush.
Okay. All right.
It was just a rush, you know.
How long did that whole thing last, perhaps?
Not even half an hour.
Okay.
I mean, it's part of what we were just discussing now.
Yes.
It wasn't more than that. But I told him when I left, I said, you see, Mr. President, when you come back from G20, I want you to call me to instruct me to resign. I'm not going to accept any proxy on your behalf.
Yes.
So just accept that any proxy approach me, I'm not going to entertain them.
Everything must come direct from you. Okay.
Not heard back on that matter.
So, okay. So you're still at G20 as far as you're concerned. Okay.
But remember, I'm supposed to be in my 3 months only.
Yeah, the correctional service, yes.
So I then go back to the office, more uncertain, because now I know I may just have an extra week.
Yes, or extra day, or
that's it. So you're having to say, you just keep yourself busy, make sure that officials don't realize
that you.
Yeah, but you still must provide leadership.
Yes.
And the president didn't come back to me after G20.
But then he did something else. That's when he appointed the high panel review committee team to.
Correct.
And what do you make of that? Do you think he appointed that team to finish what he started because they realized that we're not going to resign, or something else?
No, I believe it's that. But you see, you know, what's happening in the country is interesting.
Okay.
And this happened for a while. You will see that old apartheid operatives have become emboldened. So what do? They believe that they can openly state what their intentions are and where they believe the country must go.
Okay.
Right? So there's a range of books that's coming now written by, which will actually show you they're actually exposing some of the people that had worked with them. Now, there's this guy, Nel Marais, Dr. Nel Marais.
Yes, Dr. Nel Marais, yes.
He writes a lot for Daily Maverick.
Yes.
So,
opinion, yes.
Yeah, but you see, if I can just frame Nel Marais, he comes from NIS. Neil Barnett took him with him from NIS to constitutional development.
Okay.
After, when Neil Barnett went to the Western Cape, he went back to SAS.
Okay.
All right? He ultimately resigned from SAS, and there's indications why, people say why he resigned.
Okay.
All right? And it had to do with darker complexion people.
Okay.
If I can put it that way. But now Marais writes an article in February,
I think it was the 5th of February?
5th of February.
Yes, yes.
He writes an article where he basically tells the president what to do with the agency.
And who must be fired.
That's it. But you know, it's interesting. He firstly frames JZ as part of Mbogoto and entrenched in exile politics, I think. And he goes on to say Ramaphosa doesn't have that baggage. In actual fact, Ramaphosa might have been investigated by DIS because they could have thought that he's part of the counter-revolutionary forces. That's interesting. And Nelma Ray to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he indicates that they must get rid of Bongo and Fraser.
It's state security.
At state security, but he goes further. He says, you know, you mustn't just get rid of them, you must actually get rid of that entire top-tier leadership. Now you're talking about competent, at that point, competent operatives within the environment.
Yes.
I think some of the most competent, I would believe, in my time in intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You say you must get rid of all of them. But he celebrates 3 of former DIS operatives. And he says they were world-class DGs. He identifies Moshe. He identifies Gibson Njenje. And he identifies Barry Gilder. You can make up your own opinion.
Yeah, I
what
was
he
busy
say.
thinking about it as well, yeah.
Right? Because what's significant about these 3 players? Barry Gilder gets, and before I get there, he goes further to say that the agency is politicized. It's all about ANC factionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And in actual fact, that intelligence has become a blunt tool for the ruling party.
Okay.
But then he celebrates these ones.
Okay.
All right?
And then it doesn't acknowledge that also Gibson is also a former MK operative. It's an
Barry
ANC member.
Gilder, so
Barry Gilder is something.
you see,
Moshek as well.
you see, so the rest of us are not world class.
Unless probably they belong to the right faction.
I don't, yeah, they are wedge driver. I mean, the old guard is about wedge driving, so that may be, I don't know, because remember Gibson assisted Zuma when he was fired from government.
Yes.
He was part of Zuma's security at the
Yes,
time.
yes, I remember that part.
You know?
Yes.
And he took Nilbana then to work with him.
Yes.
So
To protect former president, yes, yes.
So you can. So I'm just saying. So he asks that the president must have a sort of review of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
His characterization of the agency is some of the outcomes in the high-level review panel.
So I mean Dr. Mare's characterization.
Yeah, his characterization
Okay.
is exactly what the outcomes is. That the agency is politicized, factionalism, that ANC-aligned comrades can't be trusted, they have no integrity, and that they're not competent, you know. So that panel gets set up. I must indicate that the panel at least invited me
To come and answer for.
to come and talk to them. They didn't prepare me for the interview, and I think they tried to hijack me in the interview. But be that as it may, I did a presentation entire day. The second day was dedicated to them posing questions to me.
Uh-huh.
And I think when we finish with the high-level review, I must say what Sydney Mapamadi's last comments are. That actually is very instructive and illustrative of who he is and what the intention of that exercise was, you know. So yeah, I think now what for me was problematic about the report, maybe I must firstly indicate, this was, I think, one of the first reports that got redacted and published. And I think it was part of a attempt,
Campaign
to tarnish me further, right? because it also it stated that the PAN investigation must be reopened.
Okay.
And they must pursue, they must do forensic, and they must pursue criminal charges for Arthur and others. Now when this panel knew that the IG had already concluded the investigation.
And there was a report to that effect.
There was a report. Mm-hmm. So what they did is they recreated a report ignoring a report from a higher authority. All right? So
because it didn't come to the outcome that they desired. Yeah? Yeah?
You see? So that's the one thing. I think that they ignore other things that had gone wrong at the farm. You know? One of it was, there was a whole scandal around Belinda Walters.
Yes.
And Johan van Lochrenberg.
Yes.
Belinda Walters operating in a PAN-like structure for Gibbs and them. And this was public information. And the fallout that happened and the impact on SARS at the time, but it exposed what was happening in SARS. This panel never thought that had sufficient gravitas to be considered. There were documents that leaked in 2015, I think, the Al Jazeera spy cables.
Yes, yes.
By Ferial,
yes.
Afiji. Those documents leaked, and those were liaison documents between different foreign services and ourselves. They didn't consider that it required to be reviewed also. This is 2015. They go back to PAN's 2006. So the scope was initially during Zuma's term, but they felt that to trap me, they had to go back to 2006. But they ignored these tapes. And the interesting part of these tapes is they know who had leaked the tapes to Ferial, and they know that it was through a former NIS operative. But that
it was ignored.
And the person that actually leaked it no longer worked for the agency. He actually stole the information from somebody to leak it. No concerns. So I'm saying there are problems that they should have confronted, but that they didn't.
It's like basically their targets. So they have to look at issues surrounding their targets. If you're not part of the target, they'll just try to ignore whatever allegations are made against you.
Correct. The other thing that they say they couldn't give an opinion on is the IG. I mean, surely what I've shared with you now, I've shared with them, and I directed them to where the evidence is. They never considered it, never even reported it as a finding from their side. So it was clearly a witch hunt directed at me.
Why do you think they were targeting you?
I'm again saying, you know, I'm an inconvenient person for those that want to execute counter-revolution in this country. That's the only conclusion I can arrive at.
Okay.
That's my take on that.
So then the panel released its report. And then in that report, even after you spend the whole day explaining yourself, there's only, I think, 2 paragraphs or 2 lines. Huh?
2 lines.
2 lines about what you
said. 2 lines that I said. They just, so it's dismissive. I mean, no regard. But most probably, who is Arthur?
But they're still gunning for you, but they disregard what you told them about you.
So they've achieved their target, reopen the investigation and all of that. I think what was sad, because at the same time, that report, I think, is given to the president around December. I discover, and it's on public record, Charles Ngakula, my comrade, He goes in December and writes his annual report. And he states in the report that the PAN investigation must be reopened. When he was there, when the IG presented and they endorsed the report. So you sit and you say, but you know, here are other players now that you didn't expect, and you don't actually know really why they are getting trapped in this thing. I think what is more, in March 2018, I'm told by people that Charles marched the entire JSCI with opposition parties to the president. So far I can tell you, the president confirmed this voluntary to me. He said, you know, why did Charles come and bring the whole JSCI to tell me that I must reopen the PAN investigation against you? And when I got this, I thought, but this is a comrade that I had to risk my life to give arms to.
And also trying to make sure he's safe, not get arrested.
Hey, my daughter.
So, because for me, that's what is interesting in this. It's like 2017, Jack Po's book comes out. You sue Jack Po for defamation.
Correct.
And the president signed an affidavit supporting you.
Correct.
So that's what I don't get. I don't get, because yes, the man who's supporting your version that you're being defamed, that these issues are being dealt with, but on the other hand, he uses the same information in Jack Po's book to transfer you and also force you to resign.
No, that's true. That's true. My defamation with Jack Po happens in 2019.
Yes, but the book came up in
2017. You're right.
Yes.
Very right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the president supported you in a lawsuit. He submitted an affidavit.
Correct. You know, there's something else that happened in 2010. I know I'm now confusing your timeline. But you see, when Gibbs and them came in 2010, when I left to go on special in January already, when I told him that Bob can run,
Yes.
they contracted senior apartheid operatives to come and work on the farm. So there's something
Obsession with apartheid operative.
big obsession, big obsession.
Is it? What do you think? Do you think it's because maybe those apartheid operatives has got files on them, and they're using those files to blackmail them to keep on?
I think they coexist at the moment. For time, not at the moment. Over years, you can see that they've been coexisting, and that the relationship is deeper than what we know. And that's why I believe that we must declassify those records on the farm. Those apartheid records on the farm, at crime intelligence, at defense intelligence, we must declassify it so that we look each other in the eye and we know who we are.
But let me just go back to, I think it was when Patricia de Lille stood in Parliament. She said, I've got a list of all senior ANC members. Some of them are in this Parliament, who were collaborators with apartheid, and she was told to shut up.
Yeah, but she knows where she got it and who gave it to her.
Who?
No, that Patricia must tell you.
Because I understand there were 33 senior members of ANC in that whole list.
Yeah, no, look, our movement was deeply compromised. That's why there's a lot of avoidance, and that's why we persecute each other.
To cover up for our sins.
Correct. You know, sometimes it's not necessary to deal with people, but we've lost comrades.
I know.
And we need people to be to account.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just allow these things to pass by. And the fact that these people are instrumental in destroying our current democracy.
And also destroying comrades whom they know that these ones were on the right side. So because to cover up for their tracks, they need to paint you in a yeah. So the review panel, you respond to that after you realize that they only gave you 2 lines in the whole report.
Correct.
you respond to it. What do they do with your response?
You know, I submitted the response directly to the President's house.
Yes.
And I delivered it there, and I told the private secretary of the President that the President must be aware that I'm going to release my response publicly, as he had released the review panel report publicly.
Yes.
But I want to give him 2 hours
to read it.
To read it, so that he's able to
answer questions if he's been.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
He never responded. I released it, but the fourth estate suffocated. And this is where I think I've told you on an occasion that the fourth estate in itself is complicit in where we find ourselves in this country.
I was a member of the fourth estate, so what are you saying about me?
Yeah, I know, I'm talking general. I accept.
Yeah.
But it's easy. You just need to do Google search, and you can see which elements within the fourth estate is actually driving these things, you know. So our problem is across the board. It's not isolated. It's not a few people here. It's actually an orchestrated thing,
okay.
you know. And it's supported from outside the country.
I know.
And that's been part of my submission to the Zondo Commission.
So then your response go public about and then the Zondo Commission comes in.
Before we go to Zondo,
yes.
you know, I think the President has celebrated this high-level review report. Even though I know he has read my response, and he therefore knows that it's a deeply flawed report, because I was very specific in responding
to all the allegations.
Because I would say, this is the allegation, this is an alternate response. So from that, he could see that it's flawed. Although it's flawed, he had still taken the recommendations to split the agency from being a unitary agency to splitting into 2. So this panel, and I'm really disappointed with Barry Gilder and Sukupa, that they
grew up in the agency.
They grew up in the agency.
They understand how it works.
You know, and that they could decide to recommend, after seeing what we have submitted, they recommend that the agency must go back to pre-2YK, when we are in the Internet of Things and AI. So we're in a different world, but they direct the President to take us back.
Are you saying to me right now that our state security has lost it?
I think they've lost it. They've lost it because they've got Parliament. They even got Parliament to endorse the new legislation to split. I'm telling you now, that agency, intelligence, won't recover for the next 10 years unless somebody does something urgent. And the President has, apart from my response to the high-level review, I know the President has another report that was an assessment of other agencies
across
the world on design of intelligence for the most effectiveness. He has ignored both those reports. Now, you know, post 9/11, the USA has gone to fusion centers so that they integrate. No, we decide we're going to separate. Where are we going?
Back.
So I think it's criminal what has happened in intelligence. And I know that as we speak, they're taking out the last remnants of senior staff. They're deploying them abroad. So it would be interesting to see who they bring in. And it'd be interesting to profile those individuals to understand which purpose they're coming to serve.
Do you think, do we have intelligence agents right now, or any terrorist can come in, walk in, do whatever and leaves without any
I think we have a challenge. I don't want to rubbish, but I think we have a challenge
Okay.
in intelligence. I wouldn't want to, because it's not good for national security
Okay.
just to rubbish. But I think there is obvious intelligence failures that has happened over the recent past.
I know.
You see, there's obvious failures. And I don't think it's going to improve when you are not, because intelligence is not like any other department. The craft of intelligence is acquired over time and through experience. That is what is being ignored here, but it can only be for a specific purpose.
Yes, I get you.
And you see, as a nation, we are cowardice that we allow these things to happen in front of us when we should actually pull the plug on these things.
But remember, if you, like Ziligas, like myself, you raise those issues, you get vilified, you get all sort of things said about you. I know, remember when he was at grade 1, he stole a pencil, you know? So all those things, instead of them dealing with the issues that are being raised, the character assassinate you.
Yeah, but here's where I blame they're still ruling, the ruling party.
Yes.
Because they've allowed themselves to get to this point politically and in terms of what's happening in government.
Yes.
You know? So I think they must do introspection, and they must realize that what's going wrong in the country, they are complicit.
But I thought they've done it over and over because they've realized these problems didn't start yesterday, didn't start last day, didn't start last week. They've been here for years. If they've not done so, is there hope in hell that they can redeem themselves?
But I think as black masses, we need to rise and deal with this thing. Because I don't think, if the political parties don't want to do it, we need to make sure that, because at the end of the day, we're talking about our future, our children's future. The truth is, I benefited from this democracy. So there's nothing more I should be getting. It's really the future generations that need to wake up and realize that if they don't take this thing serious, they will have a catastrophe on their hands.
How do you tell someone who gets 350 SASSA money every that rebel against the same government that is giving you 350 every month, and you know once they reverse that 350, you have nothing to eat?
But I think that's the reason we are complacent, because the same middle class that's working in government are just accepting the salaries, not delivering a service, because they realize nobody is serious about ensuring a functional, capable state. So everybody, are we just going to accept? It's unless we accept that we'll wait till this thing grinds to a halt, or it's hollowed out so far that there's nothing left.
To steal.
That's
okay. Let's come to the Zondo Commission. So Zondo Commission is set up to look at state capture. Your name is mentioned several times because of all the books written, the reports, and the politicians gunning for your head. And witnesses go to the commission, accuse you of treason.
correct.
Accuse you of treason, not one, a couple of them. You write back to the... First of all, before they accuse you of treason, by law, you were supposed to be notified.
Correct.
The commissioner that you're supposed to be notified if someone is going to implicate you. You don't get that notice.
Not in all instances.
Not in all instances.
Correct.
You get some of the notice are sent into a number of your sister-in-law.
No, my daughter-in-law.
Your daughter-in-law.
But maybe, she's now my daughter-in-law.
At the time she wasn't.
Yeah, because the phone is registered in her maiden surname.
Yes.
So, yeah, if I can, do you want me to follow that?
Yes.
You see?
Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, now, this phone is registered in a maiden name when she secured the contract,
Yes.
right? So for the commission to send to her means that they must have collaborated with Gibson them's team and Jafta's team at the farm, those guys that were investigating the pans, and that they had actually not only monitored my communication, but they monitored my extended family and girlfriends. I mean, can you imagine? No judge in this country will give permission for a direction of that nature. That's why I raised it with my counsel to say, no, these guys must explain. Where did they get that number?
Yes.
And Pretorius was arrogant to say, no, I will show when Fraser used this number previously. It's not possible. How would I use my son's girlfriend's phone?
Can you say, did you ever use that number at any?
Not at one instance, never.
And also again, they knew where to find you. You were at Hoshimampuru, where you were commissioner, and where you were housed by the state. So the state housed you. They know exactly where's your address, but they claim that they can't find it.
It's even more than that.
Okay.
The commission's investigators came to see me at the house at Hoshi.
But now they say they can't find it.
That's the point. They came to see me on the Busasa matter. And I gave them inputs on the Busasa matter. How is it that they couldn't find me? So it just shows you, again, it's my complaint about, and you see with all these commissions, we see the evidence leaders and the panelists. We never see who's the investigators behind the scenes. That's what needs to become more transparent and visible. Because you see how they even appoint and recruit those people. Because at Zondo, they recruited old guard people. And I think it was Dutton that was given free rein to appoint people there. Then they meet with the old cronies that's still in the structures, and they try and siphon information that will benefit their agendas.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because at the Zondo Commission, there were certain apartheid police were treated as heroes there. And I don't want to mention names, but everyone will know who I'm talking about. So do you think it was just deliberate to ignore you so that you don't have to go to the commission and testify, claiming that they can't find you?
No, I think it was a deliberate ploy, because you see, when Jeff testified, we, myself and my team, legal team, went to the commission after Jeff's testimony. And we then sat there for 3 days until we were able to get an audience with the chair.
Okay.
Just to tell him that, this is unfair, but since they've now allowed intelligence to be placed in an open forum, we'd want to have access to that. So this thing of the chairman Zondo saying that we didn't apply to testify, I mean, it's just basic dishonesty.
Yeah, because I know you applied because you had a big file that was submitted to the Zondo Commission.
There was a statement.
Yes.
There was my response to the high-level review panel.
And there were annexures.
And that's it, including seeking declassification
Of certain documents.
of lots of documents.
Yes.
I even identified witnesses that will assist the commission to understand state capture as we see it.
But for me, the other thing I think maybe they were worried about, because I remember someone gave me the copy of the statement you submitted at the Zondo Commission. You wanted to go and expose certain judges of being on the payroll.
No, you see, I indicated that
You know.
there are presidents, I know of presidents,
Yes.
that had done things
Okay.
that feeds into this narrative where there's a corrupted relationship or manipulative relationship. I've also spoken about judges.
Yes.
And it also relates to money and external influences.
Yes.
But the documents I sought was going to assist the commission to make a determination if what I was presenting would actually expose the actual rot we have in our system.
More especially the judiciary. So if we've got at least 6 judges in the judiciary who are on the take, is it not worrisome?
It has to be. It has to be. But it can only be, Zondo has to account why he was disinterested in knowing that.
Who are these 6 judges?
When he's the Deputy Chief Justice.
And when you are saying, I can come and help you, I've got the information that will identify the judges and how they're getting paid, correct, but you get it on. What do you make of that?
No, it's what I'm saying. I just think Zondo got trapped in a project that he willingly complied with. Okay. You know?
So now the commission goes on and on. You're not called to testify, even though you've been mentioned as accused of all sorts of things, and you don't get to testify. But then, in that process, you go and open a case against the president about the theft at his farm, Phala Phala.
Yeah. Can I go back just? I
Yes.
just want to go back because I think the issue of Zondo's disingenuity must be clearly stated.
Okay.
You know, apart from me trying to get documents declassified,
Yes.
Zondo argues that I didn't follow a process. In the record of the commission, the commission approaches the president to declassify. The commission approached the ministry to declassify, and the DG of SSA, the acting DG at the time, Louisa Jafta, and even Msimang later, writes a letter to every witness that came to the commission to say classification of anything, of documents, is not a reason not to present evidence to the commission. So why is it just that Arthur didn't receive the same letter and that Arthur had to jump through loops? So there's inconsistency that he applies there on the issue of declassification. Okay. The second thing about
the declassification, what sort of documents you wanted to be declassified and what did you want to show in those documents?
I mean, it's part of what you've touched on. But you know, the point was, it was to show what is really happening in this country. So I was asking for projects that had been concluded.
Yes.
So it wasn't live projects. It's projects that had been concluded. Look at what we've discovered. And this is the findings of these things. You know? So he would then be able to have evidence before him that was prior year collected. Wasn't interested. You know? I know that, you know, amongst the record, I had also asked about the information that I saw in the agency around the president.
What about the president?
I'm not going to go into the details, but I'd asked for the record. I know about the record.
Okay.
You know? And I asked about him, his business associates, and the like. So those are things that I thought that if a judge is serious, he should be interested in those things.
So you're telling me that there is a file or files at the farm, state security, about the president and his business associate that are not made public?
But remember the farm only deals with matters of national security. Okay. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Okay, I get you.
That's where I'm leaving it.
Okay.
So I'm go back to Zondo. So
yes.
Zondo's inconsistent.
Yes.
He doesn't declassify. I apply to cross-examine my accusers.
Yes.
The commission, instead, the rule is they must write to the individuals and inform them.
That you want to cross-examine.
That's it. And they must then respond if they are comfortable or not. All right? Not in this instance. The commission opposes,
That
in
you
the
cross-examine-
affidavit,
that you
opposes that I cross-examine them.
I understand in certain instances there were people that were told that you want to cross-examine and you were not going to even cross-examine them.
That I find in the record. This is not even here. Let me finish this one. I'll come there.
Yeah,
You
okay.
see? So there's this cross-examination that Zondo gets the commission to oppose.
Yes.
Right? Irregular in my mind.
Even from people who are accused of terrorism.
That's it. You're right.
He doesn't want you to cross-examine them.
And Zondo, in his papers in the review now that I'm challenging, he states under oath that, you know, when he made his order on my cross-examination, I had the right to review his decision. You know, and you know, so I don't know how this man can be a judge. Because when he does the order on cross-examination, it's December 2021.
The commission has closed.
Has closed August 2021. The president closed the commission in August 21. He wants the courts to believe that
You didn't.
I didn't apply myself. And my legal team should have known that I could do this. So I'm just saying you've got somebody that's absolutely dishonest. You know? Now, to go to that point that you make, when we look at the record, because we asked for the Rule 35 record, and we then, so the Rule 35 record is where we want him to provide, or the commission, and then it should actually be, in my mind, the presidency that should give us the record, and then we must be able to contest. But let's leave that. So we get the record. The first thing I realize post facto, the record, is that he doesn't give us the full record. Now, I don't know if that is ethical or unethical. But when I study the record, I discover that the president, the minister of state security, and the judge president of Gauteng, Nlambo, responds to me wanting to cross-examine him.
And we never had any.
Never asked. I had no interest. They did not claim anything. I had no interest. So it meant that the commission lied to people
That you want to
that
cross-examine.
they want to cross-examine. So you see, my only
Conclusion
is that, you see, Zondo was trying to peg his points, his flags at the Gauteng court by getting the JP agitated. So when I do a review, there must be hostility.
I get it.
You see, that is my conclusion. So I really think if that is a conduct of a Chief Justice,
And the
because he was
chairperson of a commission.
That's where do we go? I think he has single-handedly brought the judiciary into disrepute, in my mind.
And you have taken that his report into review?
They're relying on Section 47, which basically says you can't review. You can't take civil action against a judge.
Against a judge.
So that's what they hide behind.
Okay. So, because the reason I'm asking about Phala Phala, because there's something that ties the Phala Phala your complaint about Phala Phala and the Zondo Commission. So on the 1st of June, 2022, you walk into Rosebank Police Station.
Correct.
To open a case against the sitting president of South Africa,
Correct.
Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, about a robbery that happened at his farm on the February the previous year, and that some money was stolen.
Yeah, 2 years before.
Yes,
Yeah, the money was stolen, yeah.
So take us through that. How did you find out about it? Did you find out about it when you were still at the farm or after you're no longer at the farm?
No, I wasn't at the farm.
Or you're not at the farm?
I wasn't at the farm.
So because then if you were at the farm, it would be privileged information.
Correct. It would be wrong. It's unethical. So I wasn't at the farm.
Okay.
I wasn't at the farm, yeah. I'm busy. But you see, because of my history
Yes.
of I think being bold,
Yes.
I think people came to me, not one person,
Okay.
came to me and told me that, do you know our president is involved in this thing, and this is bad. And that person asked me to actually pull the trigger because we should not have a president that is involved in the type of activities that they were involved in.
What activities are you talking about?
No, remember, you see people always, when they talk about Phala Phala, they talk about Phala Phala as if it's only the dollars.
Yes.
And you remember, and I still maintain, that the dollars were never the $580,000 that they said.
How much are we talking about from the
Wasn't in my affidavit?
Yes.
I speak about, I think, 2 million plus.
Dollars.
Because dollars.
Yes.
Because they were saying that the president and the crew that was investigating didn't know how much was stolen. So it was that, but so it wasn't just the dollars. It was the fact that people got kidnapped.
Yes.
That people were tortured.
Yes.
That state resources was used.
Yes. Clandestine, because it was not an open investigation.
That people crossed the borders.
Yeah.
So all of these things happened. And I know I then got labeled again a Zuma man, RET, what. But I assumed that all of those people had said that most probably believed that you mustn't report crime. I'm just putting that there, But so when I got this information, I then collated it over a period of time and I tested it because I didn't want to do something that will actually backfire at me, And I engaged with the legal team to say, look,
You've got this information.
I've got this, but I'm also being persecuted.
Yes.
I didn't share everything that I've shared today with the team, but I've indicated that, I'm fed up. I think if there's no sanity and just justice in our party, I am pulling this trigger. And council's advice was to make sure that what you do it relates to a criminal offense that doesn't have a political
emphasis.
Yeah. And that is why we chose Phala Phala amongst the stuff that I... So Phala Phala
is one of the amongst.
Is one of others. So, and Phala Phala came after I was out of the farm.
And then did these guys that came did they deliver files, or they just give you recordings, or how did you get all this information?
They, over a period of time, fed me. I mean, while things were happening, they were feeding. They had fed and gave me certain stuff later. So it happened over a period of time.
So out of all the stuff that you received, you said it was Phala Phala was among other. Why did you choose Phala Phala, not everything?
No, because it was straightforward criminality.
Okay.
And it was money laundering.
So people will say, what is criminality if the man has kept the money in his own house and it gets stolen? He doesn't want to report it.
Well, it's a crime.
Okay.
It's a crime.
All right.
The second thing is I spoke about the torture.
Yes, the torture. Yes.
Yeah, I spoke about the bribery.
Yes.
Now, remember, the bribery, when they pay these people, It's not in dollars, it's in rands.
But the money that was stolen was in dollars.
Dollars. So it means that there's more money in rands that was available and that was now being given to people. So there's more money laundering taking place here. You mustn't be narrow on these things. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember in my affidavit, I state that they were paid 150,000 rand each.
Yes.
So where did that? Couldn't come out of Wali's kitty.
So then again, they're saying that was only 580,000 stolen. And we are disputing that fact. What makes you sure that it was more than that?
Well, apart from the people that told me.
Yes.
And then this separate investigation and people crossed the border.
Yes.
During COVID.
Yes.
You know? So a multitude of crimes were committed. And the people that was party to this thing said it was with the knowledge and the consent of the president. I'm telling you what I'm told.
Yes.
You know? So for me, it is problematic.
But from the people that told you all this, how much money was stolen?
Look, they said nobody could put a finger on it. They knew it was in excess of $2 million.
Not $8 million.
No, $2 million.
Okay.
Right? And when you listen to when they interviewed David, there's a recording.
Yes.
Right? In that recording, he says, no, we only took $800,000 because the woman told them, you can't take everything. You must leave something so that the president don't see you've taken the money.
So it means there was something left.
Of course.
Okay. So also again, when you mentioned the issue of assets, again, when you look at the assets, they tell a different story.
Absolutely. And remember, at one place, they even stole the Rolex watches from them and that when they were raiding those people.
Yeah,
in
the Millerton, yes.
Yeah, correct.
Oh.
So, and then the money that they exchanged at the Chinese.
In Cape Town.
Yes.
So, now, there's this thing, you report it, and then how far is it from with the Hawks?
Well, you know...
because there are two, people must not understand there are two Phala Phala cases. There's the one that the former manager at Phala Phala opened when David and them were arrested. That's not your case.
Correct.
Your case is against the president.
Correct.
And Wali and them.
Correct.
So how far is your case? Because you were the first one to open the case. They opened their case, I think, a year later.
NPA closed that case. NPA, they opened their case 3 months after
Yes.
I had opened the case.
Yes.
The NPA has closed that case.
Your case?
Yeah, my case was closed. They said there was nothing. They couldn't prosecute. And that decision was taken by the DPP Limpopo.
Yes.
Ivy Tenga.
Yes.
And it's an interesting name because that name appears other places also.
Yes, Northern Cape, I remember. Yes. So what do you make of that? That on your case, there's no one to prosecute, but on their case, there's some people to... The trial is going on right now.
The trial is going on. But the IPID report...
Yes, the IPID report...
If you just look at the IPID report...
It paints a bit of different picture.
Absolutely. Then you have to ask, but on what basis did they decide not to prosecute on my case? It's not possible.
Are you going to challenge it? Now that you've seen the IPID report is giving you information.
You see, I must decide my options. You know, at the moment, you must make ends meet. So those are some of the things that one would consider, but...
So talking about making ends meet, shortly after you opened the Phala Phala case, you were approached and offered a whole lot of money.
That's true.
It's about 50 million.
Plus.
50 million plus.
No, it was 50 million and there was additional.
to drop the case. Tell us about that. How did it happen?
Okay, that happened on the 15th of June,
Yes.
2022.
Yes. It's like 14 days after I opened the case.
Correct.
Yes.
When a comrade of mine that worked in the DORA unit,
Yes.
he was actually the commissar of the DORA unit.
Yes.
He gets approached by Mark Liffman.
Yes.
Get contacted by Mark Liffman and told that he needs to see him urgently. There's a matter they need to discuss. So he goes and meets Mark Liffman. And Mark Liffman indicates to him that, he's close to the advisor of the president, Benjani. And the fellow asked him, so what does this got to do with me? He says, no, man, in actual fact, before I tell you what I've been asked, I want to explain to you how I know this fellow. So Benjani is living in the same flats where I'm living because he's currently renovating his house in Hyde Park. Okay. So we are interacting with each other. So he says, okay. So he says, no, Benjani has approached him. And I think Mark must have indicated that he knows this fellow and that this fellow is close to me, so they can. And he then says, look, Benjani had indicated that the president had asked him to make this matter go away and that he was offering me 50 million to collapse this case. But apart from the 50 million, he's indicated that I could choose any department I wanted in government. They would give it to me.
So you're no longer a liability now?
Yeah, including, exactly, including intelligence.
Okay.
2, that the investigations that is being run against me, they would stop that. But more than that, they would also stop the investigations being run against people associated to me. Okay. Now remember, I spoke about Prince previously. Yeah. So they're always targeting people around. But the first one was the one that I thought not possible.
It's far-fetched.
Too far-fetched. They told me that they would get the chairperson, Zondo, to amend his findings against me.
On the Zondo Commission?
On the Zondo Commission's report.
Okay.
And when this fellow gave me this feedback, because he felt he couldn't talk telephonically, he came to see me. When he gave me this feedback, I told him, bro, this is not possible. This
is practically possible.
I think this is a scheme, I'm not going to. By the way, Zondo is supposed to hand over his report today to the president. And I left it. But I told him, tell them to go to hell.
Okay.
And I left it there. I think the next day or two, I see a statement from the presidency stating that the Zondo's final report has been delayed and that it will be submitted at a later stage. I then realized, this thing can't be coincidence. And I called him and I say, bro, I've seen this thing. So this thing that this fellow is telling you is true. He says, this fellow has asked me to see me after the weekend. I said, why? He says, no, he's got the update.
Okay.
So he goes to see Mark.
Oh, yes.
And Mark tell him, look, the 50 million is off the table. In actual fact, it's a blank script. You must just put the number.
How much you want.
And they'll deliver it. with all the other things.
The other conditions.
And I told him, no, man, I'm not interested. I've got no interest. What? And that was it. And subsequent to that meeting, Zondo hands over his report to the president.
Subsequent to also, my understanding, subsequent to that, you get hitmen on you.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry, sorry, I forgot that.
Yes.
No, there was, when he's meeting, on the first meeting,
Yes.
where the 50 million is set,
offered.
I forgot that,
Yes,
thank you. Benjani calls Mark while they're sitting engaging with my comrade.
Okay.
And Benjani, and Mark puts Benjani on speakerphone.
Okay.
And as Benjani asks Mark, have you met these people and what are they saying? Mark says, no, I'm just meeting them.
Okay.
But I think Benjani doesn't realize that he's on speakerphone.
Okay.
So he tells them, please tell them that if they don't take this offer, we have already spoken to a businessman. He's Mswazi Msibi. And he will be getting us in Kabi. So if they don't take this offer, they will get the Inkabis to deal with us, with me.
Okay.
Now this is what my comrade says he heard.
Yes.
So this wasn't conveyed by Mark.
No.
This is what he heard telephonically. And that is what he told me. I still told him to
get lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you're absolutely right with that.
And then you confirmed that the hit was true.
I confirmed that it was true.
You guys had to go to KZN. I won't mention where you went, just to try and make sure that you guys don't get killed.
But you remember, you called us.
Yes.
A few months later.
Yes.
To tell us that this heat that you're talking about.
Yes.
So that was the second heat.
Yes.
Remember,
yours was
I picked up a heat, and then you contact both of us to say, hey, there's this heat on the three of us.
Yes.
Right? And that's when we decide that we need to engage to understand, are these people serious? What is at stake here?
Yes.
So that we engaged and confronted people on that matter.
And I understand someone made a confession to you guys.
Confirmed
that everything...
That was so. And that money was exchanged.
To kill you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you want to talk about, but that the whole confession is recorded?
No. At least myself and Sikakani was present.
Okay, when they made...
So I'm not going to go into the detail of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, where to from here? Now, you opened the case. You believe that was bungled and was not properly investigated. And...
No, I think it's criminal what has happened, because it meant that the president has allowed a Chapter 9 institution to actually breach their principle of office. I mean, the issue of the Reserve Bank. Have you ever heard another case where the Reserve Bank can tell you there's an incomplete transaction? Have you ever heard that?
No, definitely.
So some people must be held accountable, because you see, we can't want to be a law-abiding country when we have certain laws for some and we have specific laws for others. And I think people that have compromised the oath of office must be held accountable on this thing. And I think there's a need that people actually step up. It mustn't be it mustn't look as if it's a personal thing from me, because it's now not just Arthur that has experienced this. All of us.
But do you think people are brave enough?
We must decide if we are principled enough.
It's just not about being brave enough.
It's not about brave, it's about being principled
enough.
If we want to live our life based on principle in a country, then we must do that. And I think SARS must account, because SARS has similarly dropped the ball on this thing.
So crime intelligence, because their officers were used to do this clandestine investigation.
Correct.
Their grabber was used to do, or to trace all these things.
Correct.
So.
And the other people that assisted that was not part of the state.
Yes.
Those people must be, otherwise we allowing people to get away with doing these things. And you see, so we can look at Madlanga, but if we can't get the state to have integrity and its leadership, how do we expect criminals to comply with the rule of law?
So where to from here, that I may ask you? Now all this thing, you know this thing, you've done this.
I don't want to get in advocacy work, because I think we need to build a strong civil society where we can hold people accountable without fear or favor, and that we look at the interest of the majority of the citizens in this country.
But if then you get help hold people accountable, but they get let off by investigators, like in your case, the Hawks closed the case, and then what's the point?
No, but I think if we have a platform that we're able to use, if we're able to put a coherent platform together, at the moment, individually, you won't be able to succeed. I think you need to develop platforms that's going to build momentum and rebuild trust in this country.
Do you have trust in our judiciary?
I've indicated what I think Zondo has done to me.
Okay.
You know, and I think it will take time to see if our judiciary is able to rise, because I think the impact that a former Chief Justice has committed in this country.
Because the reason I'm asking this is not because for me it's not Zondo alone. We're going to expose at least 6 judges if you're giving a platform at the Zondo Commission, but you're never given that. So we don't know what those 6 judges, are they working alone? Are they working with others? Have they stopped doing whatever they were doing that you wanted to expose? Are they still continuing? For me, that's where the issue is.
But you see, if you have a functional intelligence,
yes,
you know, so the state has to change. You need to make sure that you impact on that. We need to demand more and different. What we currently have is not going to allow that to happen. I agree with you. But I think we can.
You can if you think we can.
Yeah.
And you can if we can make it happen.
Yeah. And if we allow people to have conscience and become accountable and active citizens.
But again, I said to you, if you say someone who only rely on the government's 350 SASSA grant.
I understand.
And they said to them, just snitch on the same people that are giving you that 350. They look at you, okay, if I snitch, I lose the 350 and sleep with an empty stomach. But if I keep my mouth shut and my eyes closed, I get a 350, or how much money they're getting. And then the road continues. And by the point of the end, at the end of the day, it's not them who are going to suffer. It's going to be our children, our grandchildren, and the future of this country.
But you'd remember that this democracy didn't come because the majority had taken it on board. There was a small group again.
Yes.
That actually spearheaded this democracy to realize. It's just you need to, most probably the problem is that contingent, if I could say, of activism has actually been consumed by the middle class. So they themselves have become passive. But we need that type of activism back.
Is there a future in this country?
You have to hope, you know, because being hopeless is not a choice.
In this point in time. Mr. Fraser, thank you very much for coming here and coming to open old wounds, you know, with me and try to take us into your confidence about things that you know, things you wish to have been dealt with openly, not behind closed door. Thank you very much for your time. and for sharing this information with us.
Thank you.
So. Join us again for the next episode of Unpopular Opinion with our next guests. And thank you very much for watching this.